Good morning and welcome to the Mike and the Hoss Show, powered by the Yum Shop and the Pulse of New Hampshire. I'm Mike Deneen alongside Charlie Hossack. We are Mike and the Hoss. Charlie, dog.
Good morning.
The heat is going to let up.
The heat is on.
No, the heat's been on.
Yeah, it's been
the heat
advisory. Yeah.
It just, it kind of cracks me up that when we have this kind of heat, people are like, I miss the cold. But when it's cold, they're like, I want the heat. I know where you stand.
Okay, I don't even have to say what. Yeah, I will never say I miss the cold. No, I never do.
We did a field trip at Canopy Lake this week, and it was toasty.
I was going to say, and it was a bit soupy, very humid.
Soupy is a good way to do it.
I took the kids out the other day. We went outside just for a short walk to break up the day, students, and and honestly, it felt like we were in the jungle. Yeah, it was very, very moist.
So we're going to move this along because we had a chance to interview the AMM Ascend Sports Group this week during Overtime with Mike and the Hoss that you can catch in the Pulse Podcast Network. We're going to replay that interview during our New Hampshire Sports because this is an up-and-coming company that I think is going to be interest for a lot of high school athletes.
Definitely.
That they're going to want to hook themselves up with because this company's their mission is to promote amateur athletes to through marketing and coaching and goal setting and all that kind of stuff. So we wanted to get to that.
And they have their big kickoff event coming up at NHTI on July 18th. So you're going to want to stick around for more info about that.
All right. Mike and the Hoss is powered by the Yum Shop located in the heart of downtown Wolfboro. It can be found on the Pulse of New Hampshire radio stations and all over the world on the Pulse of New Hampshire app. You can always catch up and listen to our previous shows on the Pulse Podcast Network, Spreaker, Audible, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcasts. The Yum Shop has over 100 varieties of fresh baked goods, including 6 different types of bread and a full-service ice cream bar, and, of course, their most famous item, the gingerbread cookie. Make sure to visit the Yum Shop the next time you're in Wolfboro or online at yumshop.com. And while you're there, enter the discount code of Mike and the Hoss to receive 20% off a Gingy Box. Now you can watch our show on Facebook Live and YouTube Live, thanks to the Heinz Group of Philadelphia and London. And obviously, you can catch us on social media.
You can find us on X. You can find us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok.
Awesome. Before we get to opening takes, this is real quick. I want to congratulate my nephew, Hunter Druin, who played at Pinkerton, signed a professional contract with the New York Atlas for lacrosse. And he played his first game last weekend.
That's exciting.
Against our friend Ryder Garnsey.
No kidding.
Ryder was on the other team. So
great.
Congratulations, Hunter. We're all very proud of you.
Absolutely.
All right. Opening takes are brought to you by the Back Bay Boathouse,
where you can enjoy delicious food and drinks right next to the lake. Don't forget to order the $5 Mike and the Hoss penalty box during happy hour, Monday through Friday from 3 to 5 p.m.
You're up.
All right. So, people are gonna say you guys sound like broken records. Yeah, we do. Because I'm frustrated again, and it has to do actually with the NHIAA. So New Hampshire baseball specifically. This weekend we have the championship games happening today at Delta Dental Stadium, at least for 3 of the 4 divisions. The problem that I'm having is that it goes back to private schools playing public schools. So if we look at the D1 matchup, Trinity plays Londonderry, Trinity being the private school. If we look at the D2 matchup today, it's St. Thomas playing Kingswood, St. Thomas being the private school. And if we look at the D3 matchup, it's Derryfield playing Belmont, and Derryfield being the private school. And when you say the word private school means they get to pick and choose the students that they want, which means they get to pick and choose the athletes that they want. The other thing I want to mention, and I won't mention his names, but you guys can use the Google machine to figure this out. The head coach of St. Thomas also happens to be part of the Seacoast United AAU baseball. Mike, you and I both coached AAU. We're not down on AAU, but he happens to coach Team Nike United 16U, which means that he gets to hand select athletes to possibly attend St. Thomas. So we're in a situation now where the NHIAA hasn't done anything. Apparently, they're not going to do anything. But we have a problem, and I know we both do, have a problem with private schools that are able to recruit and pick and choose who they want to play on their fields, playing against public schools who we take whoever we can get.
How many? So in Division I, I believe that there are 3 private schools that are considered private that anybody could go to them. In Division II, I believe there's 2, maybe 2.
Maybe, yeah, I mean,
maybe 2.
Yeah.
And then Division III, there's at most 2.
Yeah.
And so you're talking out of the 5 schools, 3 of them made it.
Yes.
3 of them made it to the finals.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That
It's
seems.
It's like a is right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, people probably think that we're a broken record.
Yeah.
They will tell you that they don't recruit, but we know that that's not true. That's not being
Right.
truthful. When we go to a game when we went to a game at St. Thomas, or you go to a game at Bishop Guertin,
Or
something
Trinity.
like that, or Trinity, and a lot of the parking lot is filled with Maine and Massachusetts license plates.
Correct.
So
You're not gonna go to a game in Belmont and see a lot of out of state plates.
right. That's right. So basically, it's really just about equal playing field. Right?
Correct.
And right now, it's not equal. It's tilted.
It is.
And they're operating under a different set of rules than the public schools. Now that could change. Open enrollment's coming our way. That's coming down the pike. And so
if you have open enrollment, then you're right. Kids might be like, hey, I want to go play for Bedford.
And so opening that up a little bit more. And so now what's going to stop coaches from recruiting at that point?
That's correct. Yeah. Right. I mean, you're going to see that.
But at least it would be level for everybody.
It would. Yeah, it would be level. It would be level for everybody, except for when you're pulling. Maybe we'll use Belmont for an example. Like if the town next door is going to pull the Belmont athlete, then that's going to impact Belmont, for example.
Yeah. I'm not. We're going to have somebody come on and talk to us about open enrollment.
Yeah, and how it's going to work athletically.
Right.
And obviously, we know that there's a disclaimer saying that even with open enrollment, you're not choosing X school because you want your child to play athletics there.
Yeah, because that would never ever happen. God no. Real quick, we know that the morning show this week did a bunch on this. What's that, dog? No, I thought he said something.
No.
Sorry. The whole Ipswich lacrosse story that went viral, national, and
it went national. Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
Everybody's been chiming in on this. It's done on national shows. We'll spend 2 minutes.
All right. Sure.
So, long story short, the Ipswich
high school boys
lacrosse team was in the semifinals, but they graduated this past Saturday. And as is typical in most graduation pictures, there's usually some sort of picture with a cigar.
Correct.
And the athletic director, the superintendent, and the principal were emailed this picture, and they made the decision to suspend the baseball players and therefore forfeit the lacrosse players and forfeit the lacrosse semifinal game. So uproar everywhere, and everybody's been chiming in with opinions. I would say 90% of the opinions are in favor of the players.
Yes.
And that the superintendent, the principal, and everybody overstepped their bounds.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to disagree with that. I just know that the information that's coming out today and yesterday is different than the information that was coming out earlier this week. So there was a report that they were fake cigars.
Yeah.
Apparently that's not the case.
That there were tea leaves.
Yeah. Apparently that's not the case. But to me, that doesn't matter. I mean, I look at this as 18-year-olds that were doing something that historically, most high school people do.
Yes.
And I don't think that they were doing this in a malicious way to get high, to do anything like that. It was an innocent picture. And I do think that the administration overstepped by suspending these players the way that they did 5 hours before the game started.
Correct. And especially and when you look at the stuff, especially when the principal originally, after hearing it, said, okay, you guys can play. And then that got overturned as well, which it was just, a roller coaster of emotions. And of course, them being seniors and, playing in the playoffs and just having graduation, this is obviously something that they're not going to forget about the rest of their lives. This is, as you said, with the cigar thing, people have called it a rite of passage. I understand the rules of the MIAA with obviously tobacco products and stuff, but it's just, I think I feel similar to you, Mike. I think the way this went down, these boys should have been allowed to play in the championship or in the semifinal game.
I don't think that every rule has to be a black and white in terms of what is.
There needs to be gray.
There needs to be gray, and I think that this is one of those cases.
Yeah.
This is one of those cases. Like, these boys were not maliciously. There's not a history of this. They weren't. You know what I mean? If they had a blunt and they were spoiled, that's a different story. But they're also 18.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I think it's a bad look, and I actually feel bad a little bit for the administrators in this situation, because I think that if they could, they would take that decision back.
I don't know. I don't feel bad for the superintendent. Superintendent Blake. He went on. So he went on that awful show on WEAI, right?
Yeah.
The Greg Hill show. He went on there just because he's a fan of Greg Hill, which I don't know why anyone would be a fan of Greg Hill. But that being said, he went on this show and he just pretty much was word salad. Went on and on. I don't know if I listened to the interview.
Well,
it was just word salad on and not really taking responsibility, trying to push responsibility to other people, other places, instead of just saying, hey, you know what? I screwed up. I made a bad decision.
No, he doesn't want to. You're right. He's not publicly owning it.
Yeah.
But this reminds. Just got kind of a bad comparison. The Andres Galarraga perfect game blown.
Yeah.
Joyce.
Not Andres.
What is it?
Armando Galarraga, not Andres. Andres was the hitter. Armando was
Armando. Armando.
The
The missed call at first voice, and Jim Joyce. Jim Joyce, I think, was the umpire at the time. Who blew it, and he owned it. He was in tears. And he owned it for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
And he has to deal with that for the rest of his life. I think these administrators are going to have to deal with this for the rest of their life, along with the players and everything like that. I'm not giving sympathy to the administrators in this.
Right.
I just know that this is going to follow them for the rest of their careers.
It is. Absolutely.
All right. We're going to cut our opening take short because the interview with the AMM Sports Group, AMM Ascend Sports Group, is going to take a little bit longer. So we're going to go to break now, and we'll come back and we'll talk about it. All right. Welcome back to Mike and the Hoss. Some New Hampshire sports. We're going to talk about New Hampshire sports.
New Hampshire Sports is brought to you by Bailey's Bubble. Family-owned and operated Bailey's Bubble in downtown Wolfboro serves the finest ice cream in the state from May through October. If you can't make it to Wolfboro for ice cream, you can still order their hot fudge, panucci, and butterscotch sauces at baileysbubble.com. My favorite is their homemade hot fudge. When placing your order, don't forget to tell them that Mike and the Hoss sent you.
So as we mentioned at the top of the program, we had the pleasure of interviewing Asa Stocking and Sam Bonifant, who are the founders of AMM Ascend Sports Group, among the founders of AMM Ascend Sports Group. And this is a really, if you're a high school athlete, you're going to want to listen to this. Now, because of some technical issues, if you're on the radio, you're going to be able to hear this right now.
Yes.
If you're watching on Facebook Live or YouTube Live, you might have to bounce to the Pulse Podcast Network and pick that up for whatever.
For Overtime with Mike and the Hoss.
Overtime with Mike and the Hoss, and you can listen to it that way. But again, if you're on the radio, obviously you're going to listen to it. So we're going to go to the interview now. Here's AMM Ascend Sports Group on Overtime with Mike and the Hoss. Welcome back to Mike and the Hoss and the Pulse of New Hampshire. If you're able to listen to the AMM Ascend Sports Group,
yes.
If you're a high school athlete, obviously that should interest you.
Definitely. And once again, July 18th at NHTI is their opening, kind of their kickoff celebration. So check them out and obviously let them know that Mike and the Hoss sent you.
I don't know if you knew this. The World Cup is happening.
Really?
Not sure. I'm not sure. And so it's a couple nights ago it kicked off, and the United States played last night. Obviously, you know what? Not necessarily last night, but in the other games, I've been seeing a lot of empty seats.
There have been.
There are a lot of empty seats.
I wonder why. Is it possibly price?
Supply and demand. It's just. There's a lot of things, and I'm gonna dump on FIFA a little bit on this one, because I don't think that they've helped their reputation as being a corrupt organization very much.
Yeah.
Their mission statement is to promote soccer worldwide, and that's not what necessarily they're doing. And we've talked about that with the Apple TV stuff, and all those kind of things that are happening. And the ticket prices, which are just absolutely astronomical, which has been talked about excessively. The handcuffs that they're putting on these cities and the stadiums to do this is incredible, and what they're doing. And I've got some stats here. But to start out with, there are empty seats, and there are not a few empty seats. There are many. It's like watching a Rays game. Yeah. There's empty seats all over the place. So that's not a very good thing. They promised free transportation to and from the games for the ticket holders.
Yeah.
So they want to fight with parking, whatever.
Yeah.
You know how much it costs to take a bus to Gillette?
$100?
$98.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Or a train to MetLife, $88.
Jeez.
They built a $15 million broadcasting facility in Dallas.
Yeah.
That they're going to tear down afterwards.
Once it's over.
Yes.
They're not going to use it?
No. Kansas City built a $28 million World Cup jail. I don't know exactly what that is.
What's the World Cup jail?
But it is a World Cup jail. I think
so. It's for people that like a real jail. Oh my gosh!
I guess so.
Okay.
Did you know about the clean stadium thing?
No, tell me about it.
Every single stadium,
Yeah.
minus Atlanta, and I'll get to Atlanta in a second, that's Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Every single stadium had to be cleaned in terms of no advertising. So Gillette
I see.
does not have Gillette,
Doesn't say Gillette
anywhere
anywhere.
on there.
Yes.
Not only does it not say Gillette anywhere on there, the bathroom doors, anything that is marketing that is other than FIFA
Yeah.
cannot be displayed in any way. So average costs about $500,000 to clean these stadiums, to
Jeez.
wipe away,
Wipe away.
just to wipe it away.
all the sponsorships of
Yes.
the stadiums.
Now, Mercedes-Benz Stadium down in Atlanta, they were able to work some sort of a deal out to get it covered because it was just too much, whatever the signs were. But yeah,
can you
there
have
were-
can you have anything in reference to the New England Patriots or anything like that?
I believe that they're completely clean.
Completely
stadiums.
clean. Jeez.
And the parking lots, I mean, everything leading up to it, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's completely clean. Cities and cities and stadiums could not market them. They couldn't do any marketing themselves. It had to be FIFA sponsorships. FIFA controls everything.
Mhm.
They control everything. So there's not a lot of ways to make back the money. 625 million. You'll love this one.
Yeah.
625 million in taxpayer funded security.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. The cities and the cities and stadiums had to apply for this from the government. The government didn't want to do it because FIFA did not supply anything.
So is it so? I mean, I guess I don't know a whole lot about this, but so when I think of Gillette Stadium, we use that as an example. Sorry, I can't say Gillette.
No, you can't.
But well, you're going to use Gillette because that's
Boston
I
Stadium.
know, but our listeners know it as Gillette. So typically, you would have the Massachusetts State Police, you would have the Foxborough Police. Are they not involved?
Well, they're going to be now because of your taxpayer money.
I was going to say I'm paying.
For taxpayer
So I'm
money.
paying to. I don't know
Yes.
what I'm protecting. Apparently, because there aren't any fans there, but I'm protecting the fans that are supposed to be there.
A lot of these cities gave tax breaks to FIFA, so they wouldn't have to pay taxes on any of this revenue that came through, so that they would come to the stadium too.
Wow.
Tens of millions of dollars of tax breaks. Yeah.
Like here's the other thing. I really do want to be excited about the World Cup. I thought this was cool. You know, I've become a soccer fan, you know that. And I just think, you know, this is exciting and I want to be a fan. I guess I can still be a fan, but it just seems like I don't even know if they're doing a great job of marketing this. You know, it seems like once people realize I can't afford to go, people have just been like, I don't have any interest in this.
I think just the news that seems to be coming out, and I want to talk about soccer in a second, but the news that seems to be coming out from people like me and you is generally negative because that's the news that's coming out.
Yeah.
It's not a wonderful, you know, if FIFA gave their FIFA Peace Prize made up, you know, but I mean, that's they're trying to spin this stuff and they're not doing a very good job.
No.
And it just seems to be a lot of negative stuff. Hopefully the soccer actually
Have some
rises
good
to
soccer.
their level.
Sure.
The U.S. is playing in Group D. We'll talk a little positives now.
Yeah.
Group D, and Group D consists of Paraguay, Australia, and Tokyo.
Turkey.
Turkey. Jesus. I can't-
Tokyo. Turkey.
Turkey.
Sorry.
Uh,
Tokyo is a city in
the
Japan.
U.S. is heavily favored to advance out of this group, but it's not automatic. You know,
Right.
General feelings about the U.S. is somewhat positive, but they're not making a run at the cup.
No.
You know,
When you think of
that's
men's
not
US
happening.
soccer, I'm not overly confident.
You know, the general feeling is if they make it to the round of 16, that would be success.
Sure.
That's the general
Yeah.
feeling.
I'd be all right with that.
I'm hearing mostly they make it out of group stage and then that falls apart in round of 32. That's what I'm hearing mostly. Who to watch for?
All right.
Christian Pulisic.
Okay.
Pulisic. You know what's nice about, and I will say nice about this, it gives you feelings that maybe they have a chance to do something, is that virtually every single player on the U.S. team plays in Europe, in the Premier League.
Right.
In Europe. So
They're studs.
they're playing at the top level.
best
Whereas
of the best.
before, when they were playing in MLS, you knew that it's like the minor league players playing against the major league players.
Yes.
You know
there's
weren't gonna
not
have
really a shot.
that doesn't seem to be the case, though. So Christian Pulisic. Weston McKennie, he's a midfielder. Anthony Jetty Robinson, I like
Jedi.
He's Jedi.
He's the Jedi. If he's a Jedi,
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Tyler Adams and Falarin Balogun.
just based on that name, you know he's good.
Yeah. So there are some stars. There is a little bit of star power. Unlike our Red Sox, there is a little star power
Yeah.
on the U.S. team. So that's pretty good.
Doug, how are you feeling about the World Cup?
I don't like that we have our little attendance issues, but that is on them. That is a total issue that could have easily been avoided to try to market this game. It is a global game. It is the biggest game in the world with all these countries, and you have this. There's also the political aspect of it with ICE and all the other stuff going on in some cities, like in Miami and some of the bigger cities like Los Angeles. The whole Boston Stadium thing, where everything is scrubbed, like these history of these stadiums only existed to serve the World Cup, and only the World Cup, is off-putting. And I just hope the matches really turn out to be something spectacular, because the optics of this so far have not been good.
It's been terrible, and it's a good point. Hopefully the soccer saves the day.
Yes.
But as now, Chicago turned down having they didn't want him anywhere near. They saw ahead of it that FIFA was going to do this to them, and so they didn't want any part of it.
Mike, nobody wants to be part of Chicago. The Bears don't even want to be part of Chicago.
That is true.
Nobody wants to go to Chicago.
But I think that to Dog's point, there's too much negativity coming out about this, but it's all self-imposed.
Oh, absolutely.
What FIFA's done is self-imposed, and it started with the ticket prices.
Yeah.
And it started with false promises that they were going to make this accessible to everybody.
Yeah. The regular guy, us, we can't go. We can't afford to go.
Oh my God, it's like a year's salary for some of these tickets. It's
No way.
insane. So no, I'm not a big fan about that. I want this to be positive, but World Cup's never coming back to the United States. It's not. Not with this. There's too much baggage that's going on there. FIFA's going to have to completely overhaul what they're doing. The Women's World Cup is coming in 2031.
Yeah.
So they're taking notes right now about what's going on. These cities are taking notes right now about what's involved, how much taxpayer money is involved with this, how much are we going to lose on this, what kind of infrastructure damage is going to happen. You might see, if this is really horrible on the men's side, you might see the women not playing in the same cities, not playing in the same places.
You could see that. Yeah, I agree. I do want one other little piece of positive. Like if you living in New Hampshire, right? There is some World Cup fever close to us, even down in Dover.
Yep.
Some of the pubs, the June Court pub, for example, they're open late. You can go down there and watch the games. The games that start at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. So they are open, and people are going, and people are excited. So that, at least that's good, especially for the local economy. These people aren't going to the games, but at least they're partaking in some of the local businesses.
It's an amazing event.
Yeah.
It's an amazing event that happens every 4 years. It's too bad that there's such a black cloud around it right now.
Agreed.
All right, we'll be right back with more Mike and the Hoss. All right, welcome back to the fourth and final segment of Mike and the Hoss, exclusively brought to you by Maine Love Water.
Maine Love Water and seltzers are sourced from pristine Maine waters, delivering a crisp, refreshing taste in every can. Next time you reach for canned water or seltzer, choose Maine Love.
Do you know the Red Sox set a record this week?
I heard about that.
You heard about
Not
this?
a record that you want to set.
No, they set a record that has not existed for 125 years, however long Major League Baseball has been around. Dog, do you know about this record that they set? I'm not sure if you. So they were the first team in baseball history to have the first three batters strike out in their first 3 times through the order. So batters 1, 2, 3 strike out. Next time through the order, batters 1. I'm not talking. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
when Jaron Duran came up the second time, he struck out. And Brady struck out.
Yeah.
They came up the third time. Jaron Duran struck out. First time in history that has happened,
The top
where
three
the top
batters,
3
yeah.
batters have struck out consecutively in their first 3 at bats.
Jeez.
They had 15 strikeouts that night.
Yeah.
They got swept by the Tampa Bay.
Mhm.
Tampa. I mean, they're on today. And I'm saying the same thing. I still want them to win.
Yeah.
I still root for them. But boy, these losses are getting comical. They're playing the Rangers. They're playing at home, which they've been absolutely futile at home. So they don't have much of a chance there. 3:10 pregame, 4:10 first pitch. It's Ranger Suarez
Mhm.
against Jacob deGrom. That's going to be Ranger Suarez is pitching great.
Yeah.
That looks like a good signing. I still want them to fire Breslow. I don't understand why they're not firing Breslow.
Yeah, they're just hanging on to him.
He is getting, although these are generally a kiss of death, he's getting votes of confidence from management.
Yeah.
So he's getting those things. And that's usually not a good sign. I hope it's not a good sign. Apparently, Theo does not want to come down and be the general manager. I just wonder, how can you possibly let Craig Breslow run your trade deadline when he's signing the likes of Hunter Durbin, yeah,
Caleb Durbin.
And players like that.
Yeah.
We've seen it. Are you at a point where are you going to be upset if they sell everybody?
I won't be. No, I'm at a point where I'm upset. Well, I won't be upset if they sell anybody. I mean, I'm surprised that. I mean, I didn't. I mean, I would like them to keep Chapman, but there's no way they're going to keep him. And it'd be interesting. And you probably heard him this week just talking about it'd be interesting if they dealt him to the Yankees. You know, if he went back to the Yankees, how he'd be able to manage that.
Well, he commented. He said
he did. Yeah,
he's not going back.
He wants an apology.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's going to get an apology, but we'll see.
I don't know.
But yeah, if they sold everybody, I wouldn't be upset. I mean, how can you be any more upset than you are this year, as far as how poorly the Red Sox are playing?
Right. It's not like they're a massive stars. It's not like it's a Mike Trout that's going out the door.
Yeah.
You know, you're talking about Jarren Duran going out the door.
Yeah.
Aroldis Chapman going out the door. You know, I love Chapman. I think he's been a great Red Sox. I think the Red Sox have done him dirty with the team that they put around this closer.
Right.
You know, I mean, really, I think that's if you're a closer of that level, don't you want to be able
to be able to close?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, right now he pitches once a week.
Yeah.
And if he pitches twice a week, it's usually in a loss because, you know, just to get him some innings.
Right.
It's such a bad look. Their lineup, and I put it in here. If you look at it, it's like a bunch of utility infielders that are in the lineup. It's 6 of the spots in the lineup.
Yeah.
It's amazing that Craig Breslow still has a job. You figure they're not trying to make a change now because they don't want to change again. But if it doesn't work, don't you have to just keep changing it?
It does, yeah. If it doesn't work, you need it. The only way to fix it is to change it. You can't keep coming back with the same thing.
Quick thought on the NBA and NHL playoffs. We'll talk generalities on this. The NBA held its own. They have held its own.
Yeah.
Well, the NHL.
The NBA hasn't. It's because they have the New York Knicks.
Well, fine.
Right?
Yes, but in this case,
yeah,
the NBA has the star power that's happening in New York during those games.
Yeah,
it was incredible. It was fun to watch. It was fun to see the memes that were coming out, the pictures and everything like that. You know,
the Spurs' new logo, and it was the Atlanta Falcons.
Yes,
I love that.
It's been good, and you have that underdoggy team in the Knicks against the Wemby, Spurs.
Yeah.
It's been good. The NHL is always good. The NHL Stanley Cup playoffs is always good. Yeah. And obviously their game 6 is coming up tomorrow.
The NHL playoffs, you always said it, and we'll say it again. It's next level. Watching the NHL playoffs is just amazing. They take the regular season, and you're like, oh, the regular season's great, and then they just absolutely amazing in the playoffs.
It does depress me a little bit because I feel how far away the Bruins are to be able to competing with these teams at the level they're playing.
Right.
They just don't have the horses that these teams do.
No.
They don't play with that energy. And to make it, I love the beards with the NHL.
Yes.
I love that. But those beards are earned. By the time these guys get to June, those beards are earned, and you can see the wear on their faces. And they play so hard for each other.
Mm-hmm.
So hard. What do the Bruins need? The Bruins need some stars, they do, but they need the grit.
Yeah.
They got to pick a direction, and you could see the way that Carolina plays. The way that Carolina just forechecks, and that's their identity. That's how they try to play. I don't know what the Bruins' identity is.
Yeah, they need to create one.
Yeah.
Did you see the feel-good story this past week of Paul Skeens? He's coming home from Pirates
League
practice, and he saw some lights on a Little League field. He stopped off and met the players, played some catch, and wow. I mean, that's the stuff that I like about baseball. And that guy, Skeens, he's a great guy.
I love the fact that the only cameras there were some parents with their phones.
Yeah.
It was not.
It just was not a media event.
No.
He's just like, hey, we're going to go to this, and I'm going to play ball with these kids. And that's, what? He created fans for life.
He was playing catch with the whole row of them.
Yeah, he created fans for life.
Yeah, it was a good look. All right. That's going to do it for us. Thank you again, Maine Love Water, for sponsoring our last segment. And, catch the AMMSN Sports Group. I think
Absolutely.
you'll
Check
be
them out.
interested in it. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. We'll talk.